Are you ready?
Ready, steady, go.
See what I'm saying? John Peckman Podcast, Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance. Beautiful downtown Portland, Connecticut. Come over the bridge, pull a Yui. Park in front of the music store with the red neon light. We have music lessons, music gear, vinyl, turntables. This beautiful podcast studio, you could have your very own podcast right here. Dave will tell you how at the very end. We are here today. New friend met minutes ago. Charles Rosenay is here.
Like old friend souls meeting for the first time with so many connections and all this?
I guess, yeah. We'll probably find out. We know a lot of mutual people. Producer, entertainer, author.
Yeah.
Right?
A bunch of slashes there, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's all life between the slashes, in between the slashes. You know what I mean?
There's a lot more slashes, but these are the ones that, we're not going to get into the slasher movies and the other slash stuff. We're going to be very musical and pop culture today.
Yeah, why not? So music, pop culture, that's kind of what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah. Well, so, I've been a Beatles guy since the beginning. Yeah. 1964. My first memory in life was seeing them on the Ed Sullivan Show. So I got, a few years on you. And it changed my life.
Yeah,
that was, so many people became musicians and so many people, said, I want to be that. I want to do that.
Yeah,
How can I, I want to marry that. I want to grow up and be that. I didn't have the musical talent. So I did everything else I could to be a part of, have the Beatles as part of my life. Produced Beatles conventions.
Oh, nice.
Published a magazine on the Beatles called Good Day Sunshine for 20 years.
Wow.
Put out a Beatles book. And every summer since 1983, I've organized Beatle tours to Liverpool and London.
And we're going to talk about that because I would love to. I've never been. And that would be something I would do.
It's the ultimate. John, I'll tell you,
it's gotta be.
We go during Beatle Week, which is I guess equivalent to Elvis Week in Memphis, but the whole city, it's endless Beatles. Every place is open. You go to Strawberry Field, you see Penny Lane.
Yeah.
We spend time in London, go to across Abbey Road, and next year for the first time we'll be going on the rooftop where they recorded Let It Be.
Yeah.
So exciting. We party at the Cavern Club. Literally everything you've heard about and read about in the books, seen in the postcards, heard in the songs, we live it out.
I would love to. Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, I would totally do that. Yeah, I got to do that because time's running out in life. That's something in my mind. I've never been.
So many people say it's my bucket list, and then they're in touch with me when they're 68 years old, and they can't, they're walking with a cane, or I go, guys, why didn't you do this, 5-10 years ago? Well, we're retired now. We saved up now. I get it.
Yeah.
And I make sure they have the greatest time. We take them around by coach. But if the people are a hair younger, and they still get around and can party, we do events from the minute you get up till 12 midnight. 2 a.m. It's nonstop.
Yeah. How did you ever get started with that?
Well, so the conventions came first when I was in college. Started producing Beatle conventions, and those have since morphed into Beatles festivals. As so many of the Beatle people who were connected to them have passed on. There's not really a lot of guests to get anymore to have a convention.
Sure.
So the emphasis is on the music.
Right.
I've done 10 band festivals.
Nice.
Where Beatle tribute bands, solo acts.
Sure.
Peripheral bands, and it's been very, very successful. We're actually skipping this year because it's the Monkees' 60th anniversary. So I'm doing a Monkees convention this year, and next year we'll get back to the Beatles thing. But it started with the conventions, and then around 1980 or so, I started doing what we called in those days a fanzine.
Okay.
It's literally a music magazine put out by fans, but it was a professional fanzine. 80 to 100 pages.
Nice.
6 times a year for 20 years.
Whoa.
So Good Day Sunshine was in Walden Books and Barnes and Nobles, Tower Records. It was everywhere. And people really, really loved it. And it was a source for news. It was a way to find out before, we had internet, where there were concerts when records were coming out. It was a really, really amazing periodical. And then around 83, someone reached out to me and said, Charles, would you be interested in going to Liverpool, to England? What was my answer?
Yeah.
No, I'm not interested. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, this
yeah.
is a dream come true.
Yeah.
Someplace I never thought I'd ever visit in my life. And I said, well, why don't you've got this magazine, Good Day Sunshine. Why don't we do like a Beatles tour? Good Day Sunshine Beatles tour. And put it out there. And we had 50 spaces to fill a coach. Sold out
Wow.
immediately.
Yeah.
And it was really a lot of my friends, people who subscribed to the magazine, and we had the greatest time. It was just, being able to walk through in the footsteps of the Beatles, never thinking in my life I'd be able to do that.
Yeah.
And so from then on, every year except for COVID, this is our 43rd
Wow.
year of bringing fans to what I call the other Holy Land.
Yeah. No, I might have to do that. Yeah, because I can't. I know that I'm gonna have to. I got to. Yeah, because these things can only live in your imagination.
Yeah.
For so long, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And you imagine how great it will be doing this. It's better than that.
Wow.
People who come to conventions or see, there's so many Beatle tribute bands out there.
Yeah.
Rain, Fab Four, 1964. They're all great.
Yeah.
I say, if it's a local Beatle band or a national Beatle band, they're playing Beatles music. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
Well, now imagine that on steroids for 10 days.
Yeah.
Where concerts every night, during the day doing that, the Liverpool convention, you're meeting people who, lived with the Beatles. One of the ambassadors to the Cavern Club who we meet every year is John Lennon's sister.
Wow.
So we're hanging with these people, it's special.
Yeah, that's heavy.
LiverpoolTours.com. If people ever want to go to the website, it's got all the information. This year's tour is in August and it's sold out.
Wow.
So I'm telling people, you know what?
Yeah.
Wait a year.
Yeah.
We'll go next year, and for the first time, that 3 Savile Row will be open as a Beatles museum, as a Beatles exhibit, and we'll be able to go on the rooftop where the Beatles sang, "Hey, get back," and all that great stuff.
Yeah, I might have to hit you up. Yeah, it's got to happen one of these days. It's got to. So when you go both to London and Liverpool on these tours. Like, how do you split it up?
Yeah, so if someone's going to England and they're never going to go to England again in their lives, I feel obligated to let them see Big Ben and Westminster Abbey and Buckingham Palace. So that's how we started. We do the historical sightseeing panoramic trip and get that out of the way.
Yeah.
And then we'll pop into maybe Chiswick Park where the Beatles recorded Rain and Paperback Writer.
Right.
And then we'll move on to, and it's site after site after site. And London we cram into like 3 days. On the third day, we leave London and go through Henley. Henley was George Harrison's home.
Gotcha.
So Friar Park is there. We visit there.
Wow.
We visit the whole town, the Angel, a pub where he used to go in and have drinks. We used to play. And that's very different than London and Liverpool in that London is Boston or New York, right? Henley is like Portland.
Oh, wow.
It's the quaint, nice little town. And then you move on to Liverpool, which is also a metropolitan, cosmopolitan, major city.
Yeah.
Like Philly or again, like Boston or New York. So we give them a taste of what a quaint village is like, and then we hit to Liverpool, and it's like, people, this is it. People kiss the ground. Some of them are crying. First thing they might see is the Beatles statues when they come in. The next day we'll do a ferry across the Mersey.
Wow.
So they get to see Liverpool from the water. And then we'll go to all the clubs, all the schools. We'll do literally everything imaginable connected to the Beatles, so that people, if this is their only time going, they've had the complete experience.
Yeah.
But it's not, John, it's not. People go year after year. We've had people go 20 times.
Wow.
Yeah, because we mix it up. So
Yeah.
one year when we might have a John Lennon tribute show on the Friday night, the next year it might be the Traveling Wilburys, the next year it's McCartney, Wings. It's all different shows. So the convention, and we go during Beatle week, like I mentioned. So that's always different because that draws people, not just the 40 of us from America, but that's drawing from Japan and from all over England, from all over Europe, Australia.
Crazy.
People are coming. Literally 100,000 people are in the town in Liverpool just celebrating Beatles.
Wow, that's wild.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds wild.
It's amazing.
Yeah. You go to Weybridge? You go where?
We go,
Okay.
so yeah, we go Weybridge.
Wow.
You mentioned it. We go there.
Oh, cool. Okay, so
Literally, I don't
nothing's left.
I
To the
don't think there
imagination.
is anything that we don't cover unless it's, unless it's moved on or changed
Yeah.
in any which way. They're saying, well, I'm also doing a ghost tour to England this year, and people are going, really, you're gonna go to the East End? It's not safe. And I said, please, if people could survive Jack the Ripper in the day, they can survive everything. If the Beatles can grow up, in a tough town, which was, it was rough when they were growing up. Now it's beautiful. It was the European cultural capital for 1 year when it celebrated its anniversary. Every year it gets cleaner.
Nice.
It gets larger and more beautiful.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So it's better every time you go. It's safer
It's getting
and
better all the time.
That's great. Have you been to Hamburg? Have you?
Great question. So for years, we had a dear friend who knew Hamburg like the back of his hand.
Yeah.
And Tony Sheridan, who the Beatles recorded with in the very early days, was still alive. Horst Fascher, their bodyguard in Hamburg, was a dear friend. So we would go there and we would hang with these people, and they would take us to the Top 10 Club, to the Indra, to the Star Club. And we would spend 2 days in Hamburg before we moved on. And that was so cool. And people were coming to trips. Well, what are you doing next year? I don't know. We'll go to Amsterdam, where John and Yoko had the bed in. So we did that 1 year. Another year, we went to Scotland because the Beatles played in Scotland.
Right.
So there was a lot of years where we did an extra add-on.
I got you.
We don't do that anymore because it's a very complex to do, 4 cities on a trip.
But you've been.
I've been there about 20 times. Yeah. Hamburg is, you wouldn't believe, it's like.
Does it have a vibe
Stuck
still?
in time. It is. Oh, yeah. The St. Pauli district is still, a red light district. It's still these cheesy, raunchy clubs that, you can see how the Beatles, grinded their teeth in there and became what they did. You can, when you see it, you can imagine it more because you feel it when you walk in.
That's wild. My mom saw the Beatles.
No.
Yeah.
Where?
In Pittsburgh in '64.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You say she saw them, but did she hear them? No, right?
Yeah. So she was from Pittsburgh. She was a little older. So she was born in 41. So I don't know exactly how it happened, but she went with some people, and she wasn't really into it. She was just kind of like, okay, I'll go. And that was her thing. She was really into music, and she was like, I couldn't even hear it.
No.
So she left and didn't think anything of it. You didn't think that it was significant.
Right.
And then my thing with my parents, because I grew up with Beatle music, but my parents never liked the Beatles, as they say, before they did drugs. That's their thing. So everything from Revolver on, I grew up with. I was born in '67.
Yeah.
But that was their thing. They were just like, that's kid stuff.
Because it was to them, to someone who's probably a musicologist and an audiophile and really is probably on another level of classness. It was boy band. It was probably bubblegum to them.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, pow, it was revolutionary.
Yeah. Well, my parents being from Pittsburgh, my dad graduated in 1955. Yeah. So they were into R&B. So they thought, this is just, what do I need to hear these guys?
The original R&B.
But then later, when the world changed and everything changed, they're into music, and they realized, like, oh, okay, the Beatles are great. Yeah. But I grew up with, Beatles in the house from day one. And I also had an uncle who worked for Capitol Records at the time. He was like a promo guy out in Chicago. So we got like promos to the house. So I heard, from Sgt. Pepper on from day one, from being a little kid.
So we are recording this on June 2nd. 1967 in America, the release of Sgt. Pepper. And yesterday was the release of Sgt. Pepper in the UK.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So this was prophetic.
It's
good that we didn't do this last week and we're doing it now. It was meant to be.
I did not know that. That's
it's awesome. A funny story because it took me a while. It took me a while to understand Pepper on, I'll be honest. I was still,
I love it all now.
I was a kid.
As a musician.
I was seeing them as they're coming out. Yeah. I'm like, wait, look, this doesn't even look like the Beatles. It doesn't have the titles on the cover.
Yeah.
And I became a Monkees fan because I was still, I wanted to hear the 2-minute pop song that I could sing along to.
Sure.
And of course, I as I grew, I understood how much more important and how significant.
Right, you're like, as I got older.
I guess I got older and understood what we were coming from. But I remember, I'll tell you, I was living in the Bronx at the time, and I remember going with my mom, and it was the only record I didn't have. I judged it on the back of the albums. They had little like thumbnails of all the other albums.
Yeah.
And there was one album I never got for some reason. I got Meet the Beatles, and I got all straight through. I didn't get one called Something New because A Hard Day's Night came out, and that had some of the songs, so we got that. And I remember going, I can't remember if it was Alexander's or Corvettes or Caldor's or Brownlee's or one of those shops. And we went in there and I go, they had record sections in all those departments. There was a record department. I want to get something new. And the guy goes, we got it for you. And he takes out Magical Mystery Tour. And I go, no, I have that.
Yeah.
I want something new. He goes, well, you can't have anything newer than this. And I go, no.
It's like,
and I had to show him the album and say, no, I want this album titled something new.
That's 3 years old.
I don't think we have those. And he went in the back and he found one and brought it out. And I'm like, yes, finally have a complete collection up through Magical Mystery Tour at the time.
Yeah, that's killer. That's great. Yeah, I had originals, promos. I don't know where they are now.
Do you have the Butcher cover?
No.
No. Because if a promo guy from Capitol would have sent out yesterday and today, the likelihood is it would have been a paste over of that.
Yeah. No, we never had that one. I had whatever. We don't have to talk about that. I had, an early a copy of the early Beatles. I had. Is it Beatles 6? What's the one that's
Beatles 6?
It's like it's like Beatles for Sale adjacent.
Yeah,
like with
Beatles
Kansas
6,
City
right?
on
And
it.
then Beatles for Sale was the UK version, right?
Yeah.
And then was Beatles 6 and Beatles
And I had
65,
American Revolver. I had
US Revolver, which had a different it was different track.
Yeah, no Dr. Robert, no I'm Only Sleeping, all that
stuff. It had less stuff. Yeah, of course Capitol in the US would hold out a few tracks so they can put out an additional album.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, no, I'm totally down with that. Yeah, that sounds like a thing. Like I said, I wasn't there. I got it secondhand, so I didn't really like the Monkees wasn't part of my experience because I was too young. But that sounds like what people did, right? When the Beatles got too far out,
yes,
the Monkees kind of extended the Rubber Soul
or
whatever
pre-Rubber Soul maybe. They filled that gap for kids who were too young to understand the Beatles.
Sure.
And kids who weren't ready to understand it.
Sure.
And so I was caught in those crosshairs, and I'm fine with it. Beatles are, top. You can't go up higher than that mountain.
Right.
But somewhere below, there's, the Monkees and the Turtles and you name it, the Stones and the Kinks and the Who and on and on and on. There's some people say, oh, no, the Stones are above it or Grateful Dead's above it. And everyone's entitled to that opinion. Right. Yeah. It's wrong. I mean, the Beatles are the top.
Everybody knows
they're
this.
Still entitled to the opinion.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Yeah, I'm a big enough Who fan or whatever. But yeah, Beatles are number one for me. They always have been.
What's the most Beatles-ish Who song?
Ooh, wow, the most Beatles-ish Who song. I never thought about that. Wow. It would probably be on the Who Sell Out, I would imagine.
I don't mind.
Oh, the kids are all
dancing
right.
with a girl.
I love that
could have been. That could have been a.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
I think maybe there's others, but that comes to mind first.
Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah. Yeah, that's killer. Yeah, I love that song. No Beatles. Yeah, we could do this forever. Okay, so have you been inside Abbey Road Studio?
Yeah, in fact,
because that is the bucket list. If it's the last thing I do, I need to understand it.
Yeah.
Because as a musician, I pictured the room. There's too many questions that I need answered with my eyeballs.
Oh yeah, well, so when we're done, I'll show you some videos.
Okay, good.
It's been a few years, but as part of the tour, if we get like 80 people, I can actually afford to rent the studio as a recording act. And you have to rent it for 3 days. So what we do is we get a Beatles tribute band, and they spend an entire day recording the background tracks.
I could do that. Yeah.
The next day, they do the mixing, and then we come in and we add the vocals of the 80 people.
Sure.
So if it's Hey Jude, we'll do the na na nas.
Sure.
You know, what
Wow.
we did. Oh, what did we do a few years ago? It was a pre-fame song. It's on the anthology, and now I'm going to draw a blank. But we did the la la las for it.
Yeah.
So that's, and then everyone when they get home, we get a CD. We send it to them.
That's killer.
But they spend time looking around, you know, playing with the same equipment and headphones that were there, you know, 60 years, and it's Studio 2.
Yeah,
it's just
I have to. Before.
You need to do that, right?
I do. I just need.
So when you
too many
go,
questions
I'll make sure that's part of what we do.
Oh man! All right. Well, we'll stay in touch.
Yeah, for
when
sure.
we hit the magic 80 number, and also I could play. I'll get the band together or something. There's got to be
that
something.
would be something.
You know what I mean? Because I could do that.
Amazing.
Or whatever. But yeah. That's because like I say,
In spite of all the danger. Do you know the song?
Right. Yeah.
In spite of all the danger. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So we did the whoa whoas on
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it took a second to remember which one it was.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah, for sure. Well, that's exciting. So that's the tour aspect of what you do and the convention aspect of what you do.
Yes.
You want to talk about the book? I
do. So the Magical History Tour, like I said, 43 years. Conventions forever.
Sure.
And the magazine, and they all fed off each other. You know, the conventions would promote the magazine would produce. They were all really hand in hand and congruent with the network of promotion that I was doing. And back then, the magazine, John, was so hard to do. It was like literally, I felt I was putting out 6 books a year for 20 years.
I mean, you were.
I was. And people said, well, why don't you put out an actual book? I go, I've put out enough books. I ain't putting out a book ever in my life. Well, that changed when we had this COVID thing.
Right.
And here I wasn't able to produce tours. I wasn't putting on conventions. I wasn't booking bands. My main thing is DJing. I DJ weddings and bar mitzvahs and school. I wasn't doing anything.
Sure.
So I'm on the treadmill. It's midnight. My kids have gone to bed. We've watched a few horror movies, or I've taught them, you know, some more Motown music. I've taught them, you know, expanding their horizons on the music they should know. And I'm saying, what can I come up with and what can I do? And I thought, you know, Mel, maybe it is the time to put out some books. And the first book I put out was the book of top 10 horror lists.
Oh.
Where 100 celebrities gave me their favorite horror movies, horror themes, and it was cool. And I put in 9 chapters connected to the Beatles.
Oh, wow. In the horror book?
In the horror, yeah. I had like Pete Best give me a list.
Oh, I got you.
I had John Lennon's sister. She gave me so people who were connected to the Beatles. Paul McCartney's stepmom, Angie McCartney, God bless her, she's in her 90s. She gave me a kick-ass list. And I'm thinking, you know, well, this is good.
Imagine if she surprised you, like she told you the most gnarly slasher flick ever.
She was amazing, dude. She knew stuff. She grew up, you know, in London when I think the horror industry there was rampant, but it was also censored. Oh. So she really had some insight on that. But my Beatle people said, Charles, how dare you put out a book and it not be a Beatles book? And I thought, well, you know what? I can do something very similar. And I put out the book of top 10 Beatles lists. But instead of 100 celebrities, and you'll appreciate this, 64 celebrities.
Perfect.
Why?
Yeah, because when I'm 64.
And because they arrived in America.
Oh, gotcha.
So those are the 2 reasons. And I got 64 amazing celebrities, some horror movie guys, some regular actors, musicians, people who had nothing to do with the Beatles, and a third of them are Beatle connections, you know, Cousin Brucey, famous DJ, you know, people who were really part of the Beatles scene. So really proud of the book. And between those 2, I have a 3rd book on Ghost Stories of Connecticut and a 4th book on the Turtles.
Oh, wow.
Believe it or not, yeah.
Interesting. That's cool.
One of the most, in my mind, underrated bands and underappreciated. And everyone knows one song, of course.
Yeah.
What's the song?
Well, Happy Together.
Well, the name of the book is Not Just Happy Together. Because there's so much beyond Flo and Eddie and working with Zapp and working with Springsteen and working with Mark Bolan, T-Rex.
Sure.
So the book is, believe it or not, 600 pages.
Whoa.
You would never know.
Did you? And you didn't know it was going to be.
It's the ultimate. I have a co-author on that who was really.
Is it the only one?
Well, so
is there another Turtles
two of the
book
guys
anywhere?
themselves put out like their stream of conscious books, but there's not. This is the definitive book out there.
Yeah, that's
And I'm
kinda cool.
Very, very proud of it. But I mention that because I have the honor and privilege of going to libraries and doing presentations
Right.
on True Ghost Stories of Connecticut and on 60 years of the Beatles in my life. And I tell how I became a fan, how I, met McCartney, how I, had the opportunity to have, close encounters with just about everyone except John Lennon.
Wow.
And I tell the stories about it. The people ask questions. We
Yeah,
have
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
I ask them, what's their favorite Beatles song? So I ask you, what is your favorite Beatles song? Putting you on the
Impossible.
spot. Impossible.
No, it's not
What's your favorite Beatles song this hour? This day?
Oh, I can't even.
Gun to the head. Come on.
Oh man, I don't know. I haven't thought about it in a while. Well,
I'm putting you on the spot.
I'm in the middle of. I'm okay. I probably shouldn't say this, but I don't know. I came across. I'm remixing Beatles stuff from the ground up. I have stems. and
Wow.
stuff. Yeah. I just remixed Dear Prudence, so I guess maybe
Let's see. Let's
right.
see if any of the 64 celebrities picked Dear Prudence.
Oh, I see. So we can.
So actually, a cool one did, and it's a name you probably don't know.
Uh-oh.
A guy named Terry Draper was the drummer, the singer, and the composer for a Canadian band named Klaatu.
With a K.
Yeah, Klaatu. They
kinda
thought
know
was
them
the
enough.
Beatles. Because they put out a record on Capitol Records. They were a Canadian band. They didn't put their names on the album.
That's so funny.
They were Beatlesque. So I tracked him down and he gave me a top 10 list. He's since passed away.
Okay.
But he picked Dear Prudence. But I do that in the audience with the people at the library. And the first thing is I can't just pick one.
No, I couldn't.
They
I
can't.
yeah.
And then I force it out of
Dear
them.
Prudence is one of my favorites,
Dear
I will
Prudence.
say.
You know what needs to be remixed as a dance song?
Oh, boy.
Only a Northern Song,
Yeah, sure.
right?
Yeah.
Will you do that for me?
I don't know if I have that one. I'll have to, yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. Let me see. I did.
All Too Much would be a real good
That
dance
would be a
song
good one.
too.
Yeah. I did. I Am the Walrus. I kind of went nuts on that. I'll play them for you after.
Really pulling out parts?
Yeah. I mean, somebody that I know, I think this is even, I don't know where these came from. But elements, but a lot of things, I mean, it's the most it could ever be is 8 tracks. But so things are kind of comped together, but I was able to kind of separate things out enough to make a thing.
Do you think it was Beatles Rock Band that started the separations?
I think so.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
So
Might be where some of these are from. Where I got them is, I don't know the provenance of them.
yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, you're just able to kind of fool around. What else? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I did a few.
The book. I want the book.
Yeah.
So after we did the 64 lists, my publisher goes, "Well, where's your book, Charles? Where's your list?"
Right. Well, okay.
And what was my answer?
I don't know.
I can't. I have too many. So instead of like just 10 favorites, I came up with 10 that like had the most meaning in my life.
Sure.
And, some were probably pretty obvious, but some were so obscure. Like I used to drive the kids to school when they were much younger, and they were like Marvel crazy comic books, and so they loved the song Magneto and Titanium Man off of McCartney's Venus and Mars album.
Oh, yeah.
So that made my list, that kind of thing. So my list was more of favorites, but I'm going to give away something.
Oh, boy.
And I hope it doesn't stop people from buying the book. The toppermost of the poppermost.
Yeah.
In other words, the final top 10
Right. That most people. Yeah.
that most people picked in the book. Ready?
Yeah.
In descending order.
Yeah, okay.
We can work it out.
Sure.
Strawberry Fields Forever.
Sure.
In My Life.
Yeah.
A Day in the Life.
Sure.
Come Together.
Yeah.
Something.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Jude. Thought we might have been higher.
Which number is Hey Jude?
That's 4.
Okay.
Let It Be. 3.
Sure.
The shocker to me, number 2, Eleanor Rigby.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Interesting.
And number 1,
Ooh.
I'll give you a hint before I say it.
I'm ready.
It's the most covered song of all time.
Yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah. Good job, yeah. So that was picked by 19 of the 64.
Wow.
And I usually will reveal, if I'm doing a library, I'll usually reveal that at the end and say, okay, folks, now I'll sell you a copy of the book. Come on and I'll sign it. Yeah.
Right. Wow.
If anyone, would love a copy.
Yeah.
All my books are on Amazon, and you just really have to look up just the last name, Rosenay,
Yeah.
Rosenay. But there's a website if they want to get a signed copy.
Yeah.
And it's www.bookoftop10, the number 10, www.bookoftop10beatleslists.com.
I think I have I'm probably not as many as you, but at one point I said this entire bookcase is all Beatles. Like
Yes.
I got to a point where, and I don't have everything because nobody can.
Right.
But I feel like I've known of your book. I don't think I have it.
You do now.
But I do?
You do.
That's awesome.
I'm signing it before I leave.
Oh, excellent. That's awesome. Thank you. That's awesome.
Of course.
But yeah, I have. I have all the big ones.
Yeah.
And then, they keep dribbling. Do you know about this one? I do know where I found it. I found it like at an antique store. It's a Portuguese graphic novel of the history of the Beatles in Portuguese.
So comic book form?
Yeah.
But in Portuguese?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with
All
it.
right, I'll have to.
Is there a U.S. version? Did they take it from something else?
I'll look. We'll get into it. But I was like, what?
I am such a comic book fan.
Yeah,
wow.
Kind of crazy. I think it exists. I tried to find it again. We'll talk about it. But yeah, that's like the weirdest one. Yeah, and then some of them I realize, as we all do, like that. I'm kind of making. I don't have kids. I'm making notes for my nephews, like, don't throw this one out. Like the Recording the Beatles book that I bought hot off the presses for $100 is like $600 all day.
Sure.
And I'm like,
is that Mark Lewison? Mark Lewison's book?
I think
or
so.
Alan Kozin?
It was.
I think so too.
It's the one it's like in an EMI tape box.
Yeah,
like it's
magnificent.
Huge. And but that I didn't look at it as an investment, but then it turns out that it is. Anyway. Let's talk about something else, because if we just do Beatles, we're halfway.
No, I know. So we talk comic books, and you told me about this Portuguese one.
Yeah.
So believe it or not, the next book I have coming out musically, here we go back to them, is the Monkees, and I gave you a promo card on that.
Yeah.
There was 16 comic books that came out in the 60s on Dell Comics of the Monkees.
Okay.
And of course, everyone collected Marvel and DC.
Sure.
Superman, Spider-Man, all those. And the Monkey comic, if you're a kid, maybe you got it. If you were, a 9-year-old girl, maybe you got it. So if you're a Monkees fan, it's like you can't get these anymore.
Yeah.
So we had an artist digitally restore all the comics.
Oh, that's awesome.
As if they came out of Marvel Studios today. So they look bright, they pop.
Wow.
And to make it more interesting, we got 17 celebrities to comment on the Monkees. Great. So each chapter has a commentary.
Hey, that's really cool.
Plus a price guide.
Yeah.
So it's launching in Connecticut. Well, it'll be the book launch on September 5th at the Monkees convention. It all ties in, right? And that's going to be in North Haven at the Clarion Hotel right on Washington Avenue.
Yeah.
It's a 3-day event, but the convention itself is that Saturday, September 5th. And that's when the book will come out. We'll sign copies of it. It's pretty special. Very exciting.
Yeah. That is exciting. Yeah,
Do you have a Monkees song or a Monkees memory at all?
No,
but yes, you do. I know this. I'm
you're
setting you up.
For,
I'm doing the interview here, John, and you're like, no.
Well, I'm a drummer by trade, or at least I was. Now I'm not sure what I am, but I worked with Peter Tork for at least a handful of years, probably 4, 3, 5 years. I was in a blues band.
Booze, B-O-O-Z-E?
Yeah, sometimes. A blues band artist called Jeff Pitchell from around here, who's still around. And it was Peter, I guess, was living up here in Stores, and he had some sort of blues. He was trying to, I guess, reinvent himself or something as a blues artist.
He did, yeah.
And I don't know how it happened, but yeah, I just showed up at a gig, and I don't remember. Jeff might have told me, said Peter Tork is gonna play with us tonight, and I'm like,
okay,
that's interesting. Yeah, and I walked in, and there he was, and I'm like, oh, it's Peter Tork. You know? And so we would play, and then he would come out for the second set or something and do his thing.
Yeah.
And then he kind of stuck around for a while. So we spent a certain amount of time kind of, doing one-nighters all over New England or being on the road a little bit for a while.
So I will share with you that in 1982, I was already producing Beatle conventions for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And they were getting really, really successful. And I heard there was a Monkees convention in New Jersey. I went to it, had a blast, and I was shocked that they drew, 200-300 people. I said, well, why don't I bring this to Connecticut and see what happens?
Yeah.
And I talked to the producer. She came, we drew about 500 to 1,000 people. But in those days, would a Beatle ever show up at a Beatles convention? No.
Yeah, right.
Pete Best, yes, but not a. And would a Monkee ever? Yes.
Yeah.
Peter came to the convention in 1982.
Oh, that's cool.
And I got to interview him, and no one ever thought he was going to show up. And he did, and it was amazing.
Because he does have a Connecticut connection.
He didn't then. He was living in Greenwich Village at the time. Okay. Now he does live, like you mentioned, he lived near Storrs till he passed away.
Right.
And his sister, it's his sister's home and the family home now. But I remember interviewing him on stage. We talk about a few things, and I thought, it would be an hour interview, and we talk about everything. And somewhere halfway, maybe, we started talking about John Lennon and how we lost Lennon just recently, a year or so before that. And my gosh, he went on and spoke so eloquently, and how it was just so beautiful. There wasn't a dry eye in the audience. Yeah. And it went on for... We couldn't talk about anything else after that. Yeah. And then he jammed with the band at night, so it was really special. Peter was very close to me for many years when I did a Beatles Expo in Stamford, 1990. No, was it? I don't even remember.
Yeah.
2010 maybe. I want to show my kids what Daddy did.
Sure.
And so I brought back a convention, and Peter came and performed. And he goes, at a Beatles convention? What am I going to do at a Beatles convention? And again, he goes, well, Charles, I'm sure you'll figure it out.
Right.
And I did.
And you did.
Yeah. I got him on Channel 3 to do an interview. So more about the promotion than the actual appearance. And sometimes, last year I did a paranormal convention, and I brought in Butch Patrick. Eddie Munster.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Does he have a paranormal connection? Not so much. But it got press.
Right.
So a lot of times, the things that you put on,
you don't know how people are going to associate in their minds.
You're right. As long as it's the same era, as long as there's the same fandom, then it all makes sense. So I always thought, Peter Monkees always connected with the Beatles. Yeah. And it did. It sure did.
Yeah. Killer. That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to... You want to talk about the paranormal at all?
No, I want to do that in a separate interview.
Okay. All right.
I'll come in with some spooky people, and we'll do a whole separate thing about it. But no. I will tell you that growing up, for me, it was before I discovered baseball and girls, there was two worlds. It was the music, the AM radio, topped, of course, by the Beatles, and it was horror movies, but we didn't call them horror movies. They were monster movies in the day.
Sure.
So sitting at home, it was Frankenstein and Dracula and the Mummy and all the Universal monsters. My mom loved it. Yeah. My parents were really cool. They're older, but the AM radio was on all day. So we were listening to Frankie Valli. We were listening to all the music of the time. And growing up in New York, you had the greatest DJs. You know, Murray the K and Cousin Brucey and Harry Harrison and Dan Ingram. And I remember their jingles and all that. And so the radio was always on. The black and white TV was always on. There's a lot of noise. It's the Bronx, you're used to it. And, at some point, my mom said, she's the one who turned me on to the Ed Sullivan Show and said, we have to watch it. And I always watched it anyway as a kid. But this was the first memory. The other first memory was her sitting me down to watch Bride of Frankenstein.
Oh, boy.
And then we'd always have to go to the Bible to see what was the next monster movie. You know what the Bible was in those days, right?
What, the TV guide.
The TV guide. Ding, ding, ding. Right. That always gets a laugh when I say it in a public place. But yeah, the Bible. And we'd look at any movie that had Boris Karloff or Bela Lugosi, you know, and then we'd watch those. So I grew up loving the monster stuff and the music stuff. And those are my two worlds, never knowing that, you know, when I got older, they would both be such a big part of my life, and in some ways, not necessarily my livelihood, but certainly my, you know, my side hustles. You know, doing the Beatle conventions and the festivals and all that. Sometimes it made money, sometimes it didn't, but I always did that for the love of it. The monster and the paranormal stuff, similar. But thank goodness the DJ business was always good enough that I could do these other side projects, knowing that the next Saturday night I had a high budget wedding, or you know, one would take care of the other. And thank goodness all the events have been really successful. The next paranormal convention we're doing, the special guest is the first Jason from Friday the 13th. The guy's name is Ari Lehman.
Okay.
He actually was the kid who jumps out at the end. He was the first Jason.
Oh, wow.
And John, you're going to love this. He's got a rock band called First Jason. And they're a hard metal group.
Sure.
And so he's going to be a guest at the convention during the day. It's July 11th. And at night, he's doing a concert at Volo. It's a restaurant in North Haven.
Sure.
And so I need an opening act, by the way, if you know anyone. And he's doing the headline. So people who go see him during the day, they'll take pictures with him, they'll get his autograph and all that. And then at night, they're going to see him perform. So these Paracons have been very, very, very fun. There's like 30 guests. 2 or 3 of them are horror, you know, really, really high-end, in my mind, really cool guests. And the other 30 are all high-end paranormal people, like nationally known psychics or regional or, you know, local psychics, and people whose specialty might be going to homes and finding out if they're haunted. Another one might be cryptids. Another one, I don't know what, UFOs. So it really spans the gamut of all the unexplained, unknown stuff.
Gotcha.
And coincidentally, and I haven't done events at this place in so many years, but the Monkees convention September 5th and the Paranormal convention July 11th are both at the Clarion Hotel in North Haven.
Up the road from Volo.
Up the road from Volo. It all makes sense. It's a method to all my musical and non-musical madness.
It's got to make sense. Is the monster movie or horror movie or slasher movie, like pop culture, usually, like, you're associating them with the paranormal?
You know what?
Is that a you thing?
That's a thing. That's a me thing, and it's an other people thing, but they're completely different. Someone who's an avid follower of the paranormal, probably doesn't like horror movies or slasher movies. It's nothing. Right. It's not part of that realm. That realm is science in some cases, discovering, you know, the unknown.
Yeah, sure.
To me, if it's spooky, it fits. And I think a lot of the paranormal stuff falls under that category. But I'm all over the place. And at Halloween, I owned a haunted attraction for many years called Fright Haven, which was Connecticut's largest indoor haunted attraction. And there, it wasn't me watching monster movies. It wasn't me doing paranormal. It was me scaring the pants off of people and having 50 actors jumping out and me training them how to do it. So it's all a passion. To me, it is all connected. But it's connected. I'll tell you how it's connected to me. And a purist might be upset at this, but it's connected to me as entertainment. And you introduced me in the beginning as a producer, which I do because I produce the conventions and events, as an author, which I do because I put out books, but as an entertainer. And that's not just DJing, you know, the local bar mitzvah or a 50th anniversary. It's entertaining in that when I do a paranormal event, I want to make sure people have a good experience. I hope they, you know, have some kind of contact with the other side, if so be it. But I want to make sure they walked away saying they had a good time. Everything I do is how would I want to be entertained at this event? How would I want to be entertained if I went on a Beatles tour? How would I want to be entertained
because
if I went to someone's house and their house was in Berlin and it might be haunted? And how would I make sure that the 10 people who came with me had an experience? So that is my bottom line. Are they connected? In my mind, they are, but maybe the rationale is that at the end of the day, I want people to walk away and say, I had a great time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. So it all makes sense.
Yes.
If you're you.
To me, it does.
Yeah.
To me, it does. Yeah. When I do... I as if I haven't given you enough of what I do. Wow. We do a Connecticut Witch Festival in Hartford every August. This year it's August 8th and 9th, and it's at the Old State House.
Sure.
Where I think the witches were actually put on trial or hung.
Yeah.
It's a terrible, terrible atrocity. And so we do this Witch Festival to honor the witches, to bring more knowledge to the fact that Connecticut had this years before Salem had it.
Oh, wow.
And it also, there's a lot of people who practice Wiccan and witchcraft now.
Sure.
So it's a venue for them, and it's more of an event that if someone took it very, very seriously, they might say, "Hey, how dare you do this event? It's not, it's blasphemous or whatever." I see it again. What do I see it as?
Yeah,
entertainment.
Yeah.
Entertainment.
Sure.
And so everything I do, that whole portfolio of things, I'm always looking for the next way I could, put on an event that people are going to have a great time at.
And you know where all of this intersects? All of it, the paranormal and everything?
Tell me.
Paul is dead.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying?
That's its own, my gosh. We could do an hour on just that.
I know.
Boy, I remember just pulling out every album.
It's eerie.
Trying to find
You can
new
freak
clues.
yourself out a little bit.
Of course.
I freak myself out a little bit.
I'm sure.
You go down the road, you start to get...
It's down the rabbit hole on that one. And then you find new clues that there was a magazine out, a fanzine before Good Day Sunshine,
sure, called
Strawberry Fields Forever. It came out of Massachusetts. And the guy Joe Pope did one special edition on Is Paul Dead or Paul is Dead.
Yeah.
And a professor gave him endless clues that went beyond the clues.
Right.
Because I brought him in to be a guest speaker at one of my conventions. And he did one of those. In those days, it was a slideshow. Now it would be a PowerPoint. But it went on to the fact that did the Beatles at some point sell their souls because of the future fame and how they continued putting out music which was unheard of. And he said, I don't believe this. I put it out as a speculative suggestion, and people can go on. And then at some point, I'm not saying this, I'm not espousing it. This is not me.
Sure.
He said at some point, could Yoko have done that to live longer, to keep her legacy going, and to bury John in keeping that legacy alive? And it takes it to a whoosh, to a whole nother level. So it went from the Paul McCartney death clues to and he would bring every rational reason why Paul was not alive. And then he would finish and say, I don't believe any of this. I just present it to you.
It's odd.
It's
definitely
crazy.
Odd.
I would have loved to hear from your Capitol Records contact if any of it was planned, if there was any genius promotional director
Well, I'll
or
tell you
publicity
what,
guy.
if you want to contact my Capitol Records connection, we're going to need a paranormal expert.
We'd have to get him from the other line, right? Well, that was always the question. Who came up with it? And it might have really been that one DJ who played something backwards or sped it up and heard, I very fall, instead of I'm very bored or cranberry sauce or whatever the heck it really is. What's your most jaw-dropping clue, would you say?
Man, I have the book.
Yeah.
There was a book. I don't remember all of them. But I mean, just, the obvious ones. I guess the one I remember, because the one I'm thinking of, is how, I don't remember how many photos, but it seemed like there was a hand over his head.
Hand over his head everywhere, right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
Mystery Tour,
Yeah.
Pepper. Oh, so many
Yeah.
places.
Yeah.
The hand over the head.
That
and
was
then,
the one.
And then what's really crazy is
That's
he put a
that's
mirror
stuck-
to the drum head.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about on Sergeant Pepper?
Yeah.
And it gives
He died
he
in an
died
arrow.
pointing
yeah,
up.
yeah.
How? First of all, how could
Yeah.
anyone discover it?
I don't know. Yeah, I know.
And how could that just be there by coincidence?
I don't.
I'll tell you how. I'll answer it for you.
Okay,
Ready?
yeah, because I was going to ask you. I don't want to give away.
I will. And I've never thought of it till this second.
Ooh, an exclusive.
An exclusive for Connecticut Valley Studio, John Peckman.
Yeah.
I think
Oh man.
the same way that the Beatles were aligned by the magic of the stars
Sure.
getting together, that whenever it was, finding 4 talented guys from the same neighborhood
Yeah.
to be that brilliant, to be
Yeah.
those amazing songwriters, to have the personality they did, to come up with the look they did.
To evolve. That they all evolved at the same time.
Which is part of the word in revolver. They evolved into an amazing, just, the greatest thing that ever happened musically and pop culturally. However that happened, well, that's how these clues could have happened. Just majestically and paranormally, and somehow, who knows? You buying it or no?
I'm thinking about it.
Thinking about it. It's a heavy.
It does seem. I mean,
the
that
stars
was.
could have aligned to make the magic of the Beatles happen. Then minor stars could have happened to create this crazy Paul is dead theory.
I couldn't articulate it, but that was kind of why I would get to a point where I would go, like you say, there's no way that this was planned. It's not possible.
There's no genius of that genius level.
But is it cosmically aligned?
Perhaps.
And sure, I would.
Yeah,
that was kind of would get to my
Cosmically
conclusion.
is a good word.
Like you say, you there's too many things for you to say no. It's not. Yeah.
Yeah, to have a patch on from the Ontario Police Department, which the world thinks is officially pronounced dead,
To be holding the one instrument that's not in a marching band.
right? To be walking barefoot across the street. There were so many other shots that could have been used on that. For the car to have a license plate 28 if.
Yeah,
You laugh,
it's
but
too crazy.
It's crazy.
I know.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Because I have an answer. I have an answer to this one, and I don't know what it means, but favorite Beatles album.
I don't have an answer,
Okay.
and I'll tell you why. Because I understand the importances of the Revolvers,
Sure.
and the White Album,
Sure.
and Abbey Road, and Sgt.
Sure.
Pepper. But will I go to that? If I go home now and I think I want to hear a Beatles record,
Yeah.
I might put on Help.
Sure.
I might put on Anthology, because I think I'm oversaturated.
Yeah. Sure.
On those last 4
Sure,
or
sure,
5.
sure.
So when I do the Beatles tour in August,
Yeah.
I am gonna wean. I will wean myself off. I won't try not
I
to
gotcha.
listen to any
So you can
Beatles
kinda
music.
get the spirit
So I'll
again.
get that spirit, and I'll be psyched again when I hear, Hold Me Tight, or I'll hear Good Morning, Good Morning. When I hear a band doing that, I want it to be a little fresher.
Yeah.
And if I've played Beatles music or listened to the Beatles channel for 2 weeks before, I don't. And then 2 weeks after, I'm also fasting on Beatles. I'm like, that's fine. I don't need to
Right.
hear it for a little while.
Yeah.
And then I get that itch, and I got to hear While My Guitar Gently Weeps,
Yeah.
or I got to hear Here, There, and Everywhere, or something.
Yeah, that makes sense. My White Album's my favorite. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. I can't explain it.
It's funny because the White Album,
Always the one that springs to mind.
many consider that their solo albums
Sure.
that each played on each
Sure.
other's. And I always tell people, I having lived through it and remembering when I always say, I must have been naive because I moved over to the Monkees when Pepper came out. And I get it. I know why I did, so I understand the rationale of it. I don't know if I understand the rationale of what I would always say is when the Beatles split up, I would say, well, that's okay. We're going to get 4 albums instead of one.
Right, sure.
But, in retrospect,
right.
It was never as great as it might have been had, picked 3 songs off of McCartney, 3 songs off of Plastic Ono Band, and you would have had the most amazing Beatles album. So, it maybe not. We certainly got quantity and quality, but maybe it wasn't the cosmic stratosphere echelons that it would have been with the 4 of them together.
Yeah, I agree. I discovered over the years, oddly, my thing is, it seems to be the bigger something is, the less I feel like it's for me. And I don't know why. Like, I feel like I'm truly like an alternative person somehow. And over the years of like, once I finally did Beatles backwards, forwards, and Beatles, you know what one I have a soft spot for that nobody does? I love Beatles for Sale. I love that record.
It's a great album.
I don't know why. There's something.
There's energy.
I even like Mr. Moonlight. I even like that.
Which
nobody.
They don't even like that.
But there's something about that album that's just beat down just enough that I like it. I don't know why I like it. I love all of them.
There's no imitators who can hit that intro of Mr. Moonlight.
No, nobody. Yeah. But there's something about that album. I don't know what it is, but I discovered, I'm like, I like this wedge right here. This wedge right here, where they're like almost a country and western band, kind of. Yeah. In a way. The fact that they're starting with I'm a Loser and Babies in Black,
they've inched out of R&B.
Right.
And they've got that Carl Perkins, they've got definitely a more of a rockabilly, country western influence in some of those songs. Because it's a great period of time for that. I just smile. You're bringing up songs, but I'm also in some cases that guy who never wanted to go with the flow on what was everyone loving. Yeah. And for me, it was Star Wars. I could not. I stayed with Star Trek.
I don't care about
Logan's
Star Wars.
Run and Star Wars. I maybe I saw the first movie once. It never.
Me too.
Never did.
You're like
anything.
one of the only. Yeah, I didn't care. I was a little kid. And I didn't care. I was 12, and I was like, "This is dumb."
Which was the prime time for you to have embraced it. Amazing, right? Yeah.
All my relatives all bought me all Star Wars stuff because they thought, I don't know, this is what a kid likes, and I just gave everything away.
I will share a Star Wars story with you. And I think I was in college, and I was writing on the campus newspaper, maybe. And Star Wars came out, and I got tickets to see a midnight. Its first preview was at a midnight theater. I was half asleep, and I'm like, what's the big deal? It's like a cowboy western outer space. And I wrote an article for the New Haven Advocate.
Yeah, sure.
And I wrote, I was going to become the film reviewer. This was going to be my first one. And I wrote, stick to Logan's Run. Star Wars is a joke. It's never going to make money. It's never going to be a success. Yeah. Logan's Run will continue.
Yeah, Harrison Ford's a bum. No one will ever,
It let him go back to American Graffiti.
Yeah, which is one of my favorite movies.
I love American Graffiti. And so, needless to say, the Advocate did not take me on as a film writer. And maybe that's why I don't have an affinity for Star Wars, because I, wrote that article and it didn't click.
Here's how trauma is born. That's fine.
Star Wars trauma. But every other part of pop culture, I've, jumped all over it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Yeah, I have a few of those, but Star Wars, I can't swing it.
No.
I just felt like I'm sorry, we really shouldn't talk about it, but even as a kid, I was just like, so let me get this straight. The villain is all in black and wearing a cape. I'm like, these people think I'm an idiot. And I was 11. I was like, I think I can keep track of this. I don't need a reverb-drenched voiceover to go, Luke, to know that this is what he's doing in the moment and so I felt like,
all right, we just alienated half the audience.
I know.
All right.
But you know what? We can go.
Yeah.
Do you want to go?
I think we're good. What else can we?
I have wrap-up questions that I usually ask.
Okay, please.
Just for the hell of it. 5 desert island albums. 5 albums that you can't. Yeah, I know.
You didn't prep me on this. Well. All right, so one of them's got to be a Beach Boys album.
Oh, yeah, well, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah. Yes. I couldn't live unless
Capitol Records. I just want to throw this out there. Also, that uncle.
He got
Beach Boys.
Of course.
Beatles, the band. That was how it started.
Yeah, sure.
So Beach Boys from day one also, but go ahead.
Yeah. If I'm allowed to bring greatest hits collections.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Beach Boys, it's got to be a 10 album Beach Boys collection. It's got to be, the complete Beatles library.
Sure.
It's got to be the complete Monkees library.
Sure.
And now it gets tougher. It gets tougher because there's a lot of them tied with me. ELO is tied with me.
Interesting.
The Raspberries are tied with me. Those are the surprise ones. If there was a Motown collection that had the Supremes and the Temps and all that stuff, maybe. And probably, if I'm allowed to sneak in another one, maybe a Prince collection.
Sure.
To keep me learning, to keep me on my toes and discovering new beats and stuff.
Yep, I would go with that.
Yeah.
Yep. Desert island food. What would you eat every day if there were no consequences?
No consequences.
Yeah, you just what?
Put on this plate. Southern fried chicken.
Yep. With hot sauce.
With barbecue sauce.
Okay.
Yeah. Put on like a Rita's Ices, but it has to change flavors every day. Is that okay? Am I allowed to do that?
There's no rule.
Yeah. And then I don't know, a diet Snapple to combat the other stuff.
Yeah. Go with that. All right. Is there any one particular show or concert that you saw that changed you like that?
Phew. So it's really funny that I don't think there is. The first time I saw McCartney live, I cried, and people next to him, the person I went with said, "You're crying, right?" And I didn't know I was crying.
Yeah, sure.
It was just coming out naturally.
Yep.
But I think the first hot memory of a concert was at the New Haven Arena, which was before the Hartford Civic Center, before the New Haven Coliseum. And I went as a kid, and it was an old hockey rink, right? And it was filled with smoke. You couldn't even breathe in the place. And it was 2 or 3 bands, Edgar Winter, Alice Cooper, I don't remember what else. And we moved up and kept moving up closer. And at one point we were standing on where they put the glass for hockey.
Yeah, sure.
But the glass wasn't in, so we were standing and watching the show, but people were pushing us off there. So we made our way to the stage somehow and sat on the stage for Alice Cooper.
Whoa. Yeah.
And the drummer has gone crazy. Smith, I forgot. Neil Smith, right?
Yeah.
And he's gone wild, and he's a great drummer. I think he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And at one point, a stick goes flying, and his ring goes flying, and I get them both.
Oh.
And he reaches over, and I'm handing him the stick. He goes, "No, you can keep that. I need the ring."
Yeah. Wow.
And so that, when you said a concert memory that changed, it didn't change me.
Right.
But Alice combined rock and roll and horror in a time that no one else did. I mean, he was chopping people with guillotines and all that. So that for me was a breakthrough, because theatrical rock was whoa. And the only time that came close to me was in a movie called Phantom of the Paradise, which we were talking about before we went on, which combines horror and rock music. And if no one's seen it, they should see it.
Okay, I'll check it out. Yeah, my sister, I still to this day, my older sister had Alice Cooper, the Killer album.
Oh, I love that album.
I could not, I would freak.
Because of Dead Babies?
Oh my God, it scared the shit out of me. She would be like, when my parents would leave, if she was babysitting me, she would just be like, "It's torture time," and she'd
put it on.
Put it on. I would. Oh, it scared me so much. I still can't listen.
Put it on now.
Yeah.
And put on a Sex Pistols album.
Yeah, sure.
And put on in your brain.
Yeah.
This is a pop song.
Oh yeah.
And when you strip down all those songs.
Yeah.
That's great.
I just couldn't. Great. I could not. It was too much for me. I was
it was too spooky, right? Too scary.
All I'm gonna say. I saw Paul McCartney once at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
With Abe, with the new band.
Yes.
And that was my experience. It was like being assaulted. Like he would be going over to the piano, and you're just like, oh, because something's coming, but you don't know what.
Yeah.
Or you'd be like, oh no, he's putting on an acoustic guitar, and you're just like trying to hang on to yourself.
Right, not climb out of your own skin.
Yeah, and then he would start the song, and you start crying and look around and go,
yeah.
And then that song's over, and you're like, okay, oh shit, he's going to the piano. I just remember it just felt like being
that experience.
beat. Yeah, it was great, but it was like, one after the other after the other. Yeah, it was crazy. Outrageous.
Be My Lover from Killer
Okay.
by Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
Play it now.
Okay, yeah. No, I haven't.
You'll hear it with different ears.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I haven't deprogrammed myself. But I will. All right. We're going to get out of here. Thank you. I appreciate you coming.
I love being on. You got me to talk about so much cool stuff.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
You got me in directions. I'm like, yeah.
Hey, man, I don't know what I'm doing. That's cool. All right. Well, Charles Rosenay was here. So we have
Monkees Convention, September 6th,
September.
5th, 6th. Go to www.monkeesfanconvention.com.
Right here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We've got that's the book
The
that's
Monkees
coming
comic
out.
books of
The
all
Monkees
of them
comic
together.
book.
Killer.
We've got the Paranormal Convention, Paracon.
Awesome.
Which is this side over here. If you can, can I show it that way?
Yeah,
The same
yeah.
way? I don't know if I'm in there. I
Yeah,
don't know
here.
if I'm in the camera. Paracon.
Yeah.
July 11th, and the website is paraconn.org, paracon.org.
Okay.
That's the book. That's not the Paracon side. So flip it over, and
Here we
we'll
go.
see. We'll see the
We got some things.
first Jason and all that.
We'll try and put some links in.
That'd be amazing.
Cool.
And if they want to come to England with me, liverpooltours.com.
I'll probably be doing that someday.
Amazing.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Charles Rosenay, thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you, John.
I'm sure we're gonna.
It's been groovy, man.
Yeah. We'll talk a lot. I'm sure we'll talk a lot more off the. We got some things we have to. I don't know if I'm ready to bring an exorcist to my house, but we're gonna talk about that.
I'll talk you into it.
All right, there we go. The theme's playing now. This is John Peckman Podcast, Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance, beautiful downtown Portland, Connecticut. Come through the bridge. Come over the bridge. Pull a Yui. Park in front of the music store at the red neon light. Charles Rosenay was here. We are out of here. Like, subscribe if you like what we're doing. Comment, engage. You know what I'm saying? And we'll see you next time. Thank you. That is all. Any last words?
Bye-bye. Ready, steady, go.
That's right. That is all.
If you'd like to start your own podcast, give us a call at Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance. Our professionally designed podcast space is here for all your recording needs. Rent out our studio to do interviews with up to 4 people, to record audiobooks, social media content, and all other recorded material. Our rentals include a private studio along with our professional-grade podcasting equipment, and we can customize your output to whatever your needs are. We also have green screen capabilities, which will expand to video capability if you so wish. So check us out here at convalley.net/podcast.